So good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me to join this event, even though it's online, which is not ideal, but I guess that's the way it is today in the current circumstances. And I have to say that two of our students joined the offline event, the actual event last summer in Iceland. And also our project manager from our partner NGO also attended and held a session. And they really, really enjoyed the event. So I'm also very glad that you invited me to talk about my experience from CSR. So I will try to share my screen. I hope it works. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Okay, so today will be about my experience from CSR from working in Samsung Electronics, which is a company I joined in 2014. So actually tomorrow I will be starting my 8th year working for Samsung. So today, okay, I moved. Do you see the second slide? Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So today I would like to first introduce our CSR strategy, our CSR programs, explain what we do, then talk about how and why we do CSR. And I will also talk a little bit about how our CSR is perceived by public, especially here in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. I will talk a little bit also about the differences between CSR and sustainability. And I will be quite open and frank to you. And I will also talk about some challenges that I see working for Samsung and doing CSR. And if we have time, I have prepared also a little bonus. If we don't have the time, then I will just leave the slides for later reference about some general CSR trends in the Czech Republic. So before starting, I think I should introduce myself a little bit. So as I said, I joined Samsung Electronics in 2014, so already 8 years ago, as a corporate citizenship manager. Responsible for CSR. And I have to say that before, I didn't really have any CSR experience, even though I mean the agenda is and has been very close to me and to my personality. I actually have education background and a project management background. I taught at a university. I also worked some time in Brussels for DG EAC, for the European Commission. I also work in a small family business organizing exchange programs for American students coming to Central Europe. And prior to joining Samsung, actually my best friend was working for Samsung for a few months, and she decided to quit. And she asked me whether I would like to do her job. And I was thinking, and I said, okay, why not? And I accepted the challenge. And because working for Samsung, for a Korean company, is challenging sometimes. But I have to say that I really, really love my job. I really found myself in the CSR, in social responsibility, because I believe it's very, very important. And I really love what I do because I'm working with students, I'm working with young people. And I'm personally involved in all our projects that we do, maybe the students' workshops or volunteering or just helping wherever I can. So that's a little introduction of myself. And now we can move on. And I will start by explaining our CSR programs, looking at them from like a global, but also from a local perspective. Before I do so, I will do a little introduction of Samsung as a company because From my experience, this is sometimes confused. So I would say that Samsung, I guess everyone knows Samsung as a brand name of phones, or maybe TVs or tablets. But actually Samsung is a big global conglomerate that consists of various businesses. And actually Samsung means 3 stars. 3 meaning like big, powerful, perfect number, and star as like everlasting or eternal, like the stars in the sky. But the Samsung, the 3 stars, also stands for 3 main businesses, most important businesses that Samsung is doing. One of them being Samsung Heavy Industries, which is one of the biggest shipbuilders in the world. The second, Samsung Engineering, a big construction company, a conglomerate as well. And the third one is Samsung Electronics. So that's the part that's producing and selling electronic devices, but not only phone, tablets, and TVs, but also white goods, for example, washing machine, refrigerators, vacuum cleaners, but also memory cards, professional displays, monitors, etc. So Samsung Electronics has headquarters in Korea, in Suwon, close to Seoul. And actually, Samsung Electronics has more than 230 affiliates or offices around the world. And we belong to Samsung Europe as a regional headquarter with a seat in UK in London. And in Europe, we have about 16 sales offices where we also belong to. We also have 3 production sites in Poland, in Hungary, and also in Slovakia. Actually, that's a very important manufacturing plant that's producing TVs for almost all the world except the Americas. And we also have a few R&D centers here in Europe, especially in UK and Poland. So I'm working for Samsung Electronics Czech Republic and Slovakia, so responsible for both countries, Czech Republic and Slovakia, with the main office here in Prague and a small office in Bratislava. And we together have around 200 employees, so we are rather a small or medium-sized company. And I'm responsible for corporate citizenship, or CSR, as we call it. And I will explain, the programs that we do now. So as I said, we call CSR citizenship, and the strategy was actually officially formed in 2013. Of course, even before we did some projects, but they were not united under one CSR strategy. Since this time, the concept actually evolved from calling it CSR. Then for a few years, we called it shared value, because we wanted to say that we're creating shared value for all stakeholders. And then we decided to call it citizenship, which is actually quite a unique term. I only know of 1 or 2 other companies that use the same word. Sometimes it causes a problem when translating into local language, because it doesn't really make sense when you translate it. But that's also another example of Samsung's unique approach to CSR, because we would like to become global citizens as a member of a society, and through our CSR programs help the society as such. When defining the CSR strategy, of course, we defined our vision and our mission. And the vision is actually very close to the main Samsung core values, especially the values people and co-prosperity. And the vision is about enabling people and together for tomorrow. So the logo that you see at the top of my slide, that's actually the vision, and the mission is devoted from that logo, that we would like to empower and support the next generations to achieve their full potential and pioneer positive social changes. As far as the citizenship as such, we decided to focus only on one dimension of CSR, namely the society. And we chose education as the main area of our CSR programs. Here on this slide, I tried to put together our strategy. We call it like our CSR house because the vision and the mission as the guiding principle is on the top. And we have global strategic programs, and we also have some regional and local programs. This was valid until up to a few weeks ago. Then very recently, the strategy changed a little bit, was modified, and we were asked to focus mostly on the global programs around the world and to minimize the regional and local programs. The reasons why I will explain a little bit later, but as far as the global programs, we have two main ones. Samsung Solve for Tomorrow, which is like a global idea competition for secondary school students mostly. And the students are given a social challenge, a problem, and they have to find out the solution. And not only to find out the solution, but also, I mean, really perfectionate the solution and even produce a prototype or application or software that will solve the problem. It's like a 9 months program, and the best team will win awards. This program is also new for us in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. We will introduce it very soon, actually. We plan to launch the program here locally in September of this year. So this will be also one of our main local programs. The other one is Samsung Innovation Campus. It's a bit different concept because it's like an academy. Focusing on topics as artificial intelligence, cloud, IoT, cyber security, and so on. So this is for older people, and it's a long-term project providing education in this technology areas. As far as the regional programs, even though I said that these programs will be phased out or should be minimized, there are still some countries that run those programs. For example, Germany is very strong in the Samsung for Impact, which is a program that supports social startups. And also we have a platform, Well Connected, that's focusing on responsible use of technology and connectivity. It's about online safety, it's about cybersecurity, it's about protecting children and youth from online threats and so on. So this is a platform that includes various activities in these fields. When talking only about Europe, I said that the education is our main activity that we do, the main area that we support, and we would like to provide learning opportunities, but not only for young people, that's our main target group, but also for teachers. And even though I believe that our activities are not so known among public, when you look at the investment and also about the reach of our programs, I think it's quite big. These are numbers from 2 years ago, so now they will be much higher. But I have to say that with quite a big investment, we reached now about 1 million young people. And we're also focusing on teachers providing them technology equipment, but also training and materials on how to use technology and how to use educational content. When talking about our local Czech and Slovak programs, we decided to narrow down the target group and focus mostly on young people aged 17 and 21. and not only focus on education, but also on digital and future skills, because we believe that future skills is something that's needed not only in the future, but already now. And we also focus on the changing job market because we see that the most changes now are caused by technology. And we as a technology producer and seller, we would like to also provide opportunities for young people to be able to become successful professionals. So from the programs that we have been running locally, we have this Future and Digital Skills program that we called Tvoje šance, or in English, Your Chance, which is for young people. It's a one-year program where we offer some further education, some project work, and also some opportunity for self and professional development. You see, we only reached 30 students in the last 3 years. So this is a program that's not aiming at huge masses, but it's more individually oriented. So the bigger our impact on the individual students is. In the past years, we also had a program that we called VOW, Virtual Anatomy Classrooms. That was about virtual reality. So we tried to introduce innovative technologies into schools and education. And we designed application that uses virtual reality to teach human anatomy at secondary medical schools. So this was a very useful and actually a very successful project, but again, you can see we only equipped 6 classrooms. So again, not masses, but rather individual approach to schools. And we want to show that how the technology can be used efficiently and effectively in education. Our first project that we were running in, since 2013 for about 4 years was a hardware project, a tablet project. Where we equipped classrooms with tablets and classroom management systems. But it was not only about hardware, but it was also about training, teacher training. So we trained teachers on how to use not only technology, but also the educational content that was available. I mean, nowadays, in this current crisis, we see the importance of online education. 8 years ago, in 2013, this was something new. It was a unique approach that we took. Moving on to another slide, I would like to show that we, besides supporting education, we also support the local communities, and we try to help people and organizations in need. We had a project for a few years that was fighting or helping to fight food waste through community fridges that we installed in community centers in Prague. And we wanted to encourage people to bring leftovers to these fridges, so people that don't have enough resources to buy food can come and take it. We also, on a regular basis, donate our products to charity organizations, to schools, to hospitals that are in need and request some of our products. And especially last year during COVID, even though our main target group are young people, we also saw that seniors are the most vulnerable, or one of the most vulnerable groups during the COVID crisis. So we decided to donate our technology to seniors and to senior homes so they can stay connected with their families. We also provided some videos, instruction manuals for the seniors so they can actually easily use the technology. And also we try to do volunteering and mentoring, but you see it's not that many people that are involved because it's not really in our Slovak and Czech nature to really become engaged as an employee, as a volunteer. So this is something that we we will be working on this year and from now on to really encourage more of our employees to become volunteers. So I just, in a nutshell, explained some of the programs that, not all of, but some of the programs that we have been running in the Czech Republic and Slovakia since 2013. And now on this concrete example of 1 hour project, I would like to go in more detail and explain why we decided for such CSR programs. I chose our Tvoje šance or Your Chance program because this program is really intended for young people, and it's about giving the chance, giving a new chance to these young people so they can, without having the right resources or the right examples or role models, we give them chance to become successful professionals. We're helping them with their career choices, their career and professional development. And we also would like to teach them something that schools don't teach, and namely some connections with the real world and some professional future and digital skills that they don't learn in school. So the program is a combination of offline and on-site workshops, individual development and career and talent counseling, and also a team project with a social impact. We have been running this program since 2018, and we're glad that this year we're opening the 4th round of this program. Just last Monday, we opened up the applications, and they're open till March 17th via the project website. So if in our audience are young people, are students that are still in the category 17 to 21, they're more than welcome to join our program because it's a year program that can have a lifelong impact on the students. So we decided for this program because it's focusing on the key target group, which are young people. It's about further education for successful future. And we'll also, it's a long-term program with a lifelong impact. So from the experience that we have from our graduates, we're glad that we can actually change the lives of these students. It's a not mass program, so we only open the program for 9 to 12 students each year. So together we now have 30 graduates, and this year we will have another 10 students. So it's not that many people, but still we see that the impact that we have on their lives is huge. We're not guaranteeing an employment when the students finish this program, even though if they want and wish, we can help them to get a job. For example, we provided a few internships for our students, and also one student is actually now employed part-time in our finance department. But it's not guaranteed. It's just if they want, we can help them because we want them to become members of Samsung family, and we would like to help them even after they graduate our program. But in this program, we kind of follow or try to follow a higher goal, and that's that we would like to prepare young generation to be really successful professionals and to motivate their friends and their peers to really work on themselves and to educate themselves to become like a better educated and prepared workforce that would also help the Czech and Slovak economy. We want them to become the leaders of future. So these are the main goals why we do such programs, and they are really in line with the main motto and the vision and the mission Samsung has: together for tomorrow, enabling people, education for future generations. So now I explain, what we do, and now I will go into more detail why we do why we do CSR and why we do such programs, as I explained just now. I have to say that we're trying to really apply the basic CSR principles that are valid. Our activities are related to our core business, which is the innovative use of technology. We're targeting young people that we chose as our main target group. But at the same time, we reflect the current social challenges that we see, and that's mainly insufficient digital skills, the gap between, the schools and the practice and the real world, missing IT professionals. Locally, what we see as a big problem is, for example, missing complex problem-solving skills. We see that the students, young people, don't really have this complex view of problems. So we also try to tackle this in our programs. And also topics as online safety that we see as very urgent that we need to address. I have to say that Samsung, as such, took quite a humble approach from the very beginning because the strategy was designed in 2013, as I said, but for the first few years, it was not announced officially, so no one really knew what kind of programs we were doing. So we were realizing programs just to see whether they have positive impact. And after, I believe it was about 2 years, when it turned out that our CSR programs have an impact, a positive impact, then we decided to go live and to start communicating about our programs. And only in 2019, the official logo that I showed you before was announced or introduced. And the official CSR website only was launched in 2020, so last year. So there was, a big time that Samsung, we were globally, testing whether what we do is really impactful and has a positive impact, and only after we decided to communicate it. Of course, it has a positive and negative side to it. The negatives ones were that people don't really know about our strategy, but that's the way it is in Samsung. We also, joined various platforms. We also joined the EU Digital Skills Pledge, and also we're reflecting the sustainable development goals in our programs, in our strategy. I have to say that as a global company producing and selling hardware and products, of course, business is the first. It's like that in big multinational companies. So that's the reality. We want to make a profit and we want to sell our products. But I see a big but there, that employees and communities also do matter. And this is also reflected in the vision and the mission, in the humble approach that we chose. But also what I see that compared to other technology companies, our approach is unique because at least here locally, minimum of electronic producers are really doing some CSR programs. The minimum tech companies really have some CSR strategy. Locally, for example, we don't really have a direct competitor when it comes to CSR. There are some companies, of course, that do some one-off activities, some charity or something, but they don't really have any strategy. So for me, this was like a unique approach and finding when I was doing a research of what other companies are doing. Also, I have to say that we have quite a robust structure management structure when it comes to citizenship. The citizenship, the CSR, is overseen by our global CFO in our headquarters in Korea. There is a corporate citizenship office that oversees the agenda. We also have a coordinator on the European level, and then there are citizenship managers responsible for the CSR. I have to say that last year actually was quite successful for Samsung Global, because for the first time we ranked #1 on the Forbes World's Best Employer list. We also moved up in the global brands list done by Interbrand. And I mean, we also won some local CSR awards. And I have to say that by being more visible, by being more recognized, this also brings more responsibility for the companies to really do CSR and to stand to the goals, to stand up to the goals that they set. And what's also related to CSR is a brand value. And one of the reasons Samsung ranked so high on the global rankings is also that our response to CSR, to COVID last year, our CSR and the innovative approach to technology are also the drivers that help to improve the brand. So even here, I mean, I see a very important position of CSR in the global brand strategy. Here on this slide, I also try to put some other factors. For example, we decided not to do sponsorship. We're not providing money when it comes to supporting activities. We do donations. Everything what I told you before, we do this without really communicating it. When we communicate our CSR activities, we always use free PR, not paid one. We don't pay for our PR. We also choose individual approaches, I already explained. And also, I mean, we offer internships, but don't guarantee employment. We're also, when finding partners from the NGO sphere, we, I mean, highly evaluate, I mean, potential partners, and we don't join other programs. We take ownership of our own programs, and depending on what we want to do, we find the right partner from the NGO area. Also, what's important for our company culture are employees, and making them proud to become our employees. So we try to offer mentoring for them, for our students in our programs. We do a volunteering. And I really have to say that we experienced a quite big company and culture change, last year caused by COVID-19. I have to say that Samsung, as a Korean company, is very rigid when it comes to changes. And what happened last year was quite a significant change, a positive change, actually, towards the employees. For example, home office was something that was not allowed before. Now we're all working from home for the last year or so, and everything is working perfectly. Also, every employee got some financial amount to equip ourselves with monitors, with necessary tools that we need for our work. And many other, I mean, for example, we have free PCR tests, we have free vaccination if it will be available. So there were many things that changed in a positive way for our employees that also contribute or are related to CSR. Okay, now another part of my presentation is just looking at the both concepts, CSR sustainability, because even the topic of today's conference is about CSR and whether it's a key to sustainability. So I believe that most most of you are quite familiar with the concept of CSR, and you know that the concept is still evolving. It's in transformation since its formation or establishment. There are many definitions. There is no single definition of CSR. And often, lately or recently, these definitions often include sustainability. So I was asking what's the difference between CSR and sustainability, and how we in Samsung see these terms. So, I mean, before it was only about charity, only about giving. Then the concept evolved to CSR that has various dimensions, customers, employees, suppliers, environment, society. And there is also a concept of sustainability. So for me or for us, CSR is just tackling current issues with some projects that you can do now. It's more short term, try to help people that need it, or organizations that need it. Whereas sustainability for me is a more long-term concept. It's about the current resources, have to use the current resources to also provide for the next generation, so they can also have the same resources as us. So there is this time element in there. And for us in Samsung, the CSR sustainability are very close terms. However, for citizenship, we only chose the one dimension, which is the society, and namely education, that we will support in our projects. Of course, I mean, we also acknowledge the term sustainability, but it's differently managed. I have to say that we have a global sustainability team sitting in Korea that's dealing with all the other parts of sustainability or CSR, the environmental impact, employees. For example, employees are also dealt by HR, recycling, eco topics by our service departments. But we don't really have a local sustainability team. Locally, we only have CSR managers, citizenship managers, as myself, dealing with education. And as I also already said, I believe these terms are also very closely related to brands, to marketing. Even in our company, there were tendencies to really separate CSR and sustainability from marketing. However, it turned out not to be a good thing. Of course, I mean, we don't do marketing in CSR, but still, we see that the CSR can have a positive impact on brand. And of course, we have the loved brand inspiration. We want to be recognized as a loved brand. We want people to be proud to own our products, but not only of the quality, but also because what we do for society, what we do for the environment. So I believe these concepts are very closely interconnected. Now, here I put together just to show you that sustainability is also taken seriously when it comes to our global approach. We have defined some the most important aspects of sustainability. And we also every year issue a sustainability report that is global, and it's in line, or it's prepared in line with the or using the global GRI standards, the Global Reporting Initiative, and also they are also in line with the SDGs, as I said. And you can see that corporate citizenship is one important chapter of our sustainability report. So here I just wanted to show you, I mean, how we have it organized in our company. And now I said that I will be quite open and quite frank to you when talking about CSR and my experience, not talking only about the theory, but also the real experience and also the challenges that I see when doing CSR for a global company as Samsung. I have it like in two ways. I see internal and external challenges. The internal challenges, I have to be honest, are, for example, that even though the mission and the vision stays the same, stays unchanged, the strategy, especially the local strategy, changes with the change in management, which means every 2 to 4 years when the management changes, then every new global CFO has a new opinion on how to do CSR, and the CSR strategy is being revised, which sometimes causes a problem or is quite challenging when it comes to defining long-term partnerships, and especially in education, when you have to build a partnership for a longer time, it's quite difficult when you get different guidelines every single year, every 2 years. So this is something that that I have to work with on a daily basis. Also, working for a Korean company, an Asian company, these cultures are quite short-term oriented. So that means that they want to have the result immediately, which again, for education, it's not so easy because it takes some time for the results to be really seen. And sometimes you don't even see the results in a year or two. But eventually, when the young people will find their jobs, only then they will see the benefits of our programs, for example. Another challenge that I see is that the budgets keep decreasing constantly. That's why we're not focusing on hardware projects, but rather focus on soft projects that are not so costly. Also, having a global strategy and following, global guidelines and being encouraged to do global projects has a positive impact, that there will be the same programs everywhere around the world. But on the other hand, this strategy does not reflect the local specifics, the local reality, which sometimes is not maybe the right approach. And another challenge that I see is also the problems within the company. A big company, there's a problem with internal communication. Various departments try to do their own activities. And it's quite important for me to really inform at least our employees in Czech Republic and Slovakia about the guidelines, about the strategy, about the main goals, and also about the local programs that we do. And so these are the most, internal challenges. But as far as the external, I asked myself a question. So does it really matter what we do? Do people care, and do they know about our programs? And because, we did not really have the right answers, we decided to join a study that's done by a research agency, Ipsos. And this study was done in December. We joined it for the first time. And we just, a couple of weeks ago, we only received the results, which I would like to present to you now. So the question was, how are our CSR activities perceived? And here are the results. So we asked how we stand as Samsung, and we also defined our main competitors, product competitors. And we were actually quite nicely surprised that even though locally our citizenship focus is only on education, and of course other departments do some activities when it comes to environment, when it comes to employees, the results were not so bad actually, because from the competitors, Samsung is associated with responsibility more than competitors. And I only chose the four main factors that are the most important for the Czech Republic, for the Czech society. And when it comes to ecological topics, environmental topics, we're more responsible than competitors, or we're received as more responsible. Also, we're taken as a company that's positively contributing to the Czech economy. We're strong in technologies that help, and also about the fair treatment of employees. So results were better than the competitors, and not so bad, but also not so good. And then we asked specifically about the segment producers and sellers of electronics, whether they are socially responsible. And also we are ranked quite high when it comes to this segment. But when the people were asked about, before this question, when they were asked to name a concrete company that they believe is responsible, only half of the people could really name a concrete company and concrete project. So here there's something that we also need to work on more. The sellers, not only producers, but the sellers, Data and Alza, are also performing quite well compared to the other producers of electronics. And when we also asked what are the main focus areas for CSR, what people feel the companies in electronic segments should focus on, it was environment, it was the society, and it was the employees that turned out to be the most important. But when we asked about concrete projects and about our strategy, the results were not so good actually. Only 7%, which is a very low percentage, knew about our strategy. I mean, when they were asked about the concrete aspects of our CSR strategy, I mean, people believed that the activities are beneficial and they're also trustworthy for a company of our type. So that's what you can see in the bar charts. So that was not so bad. But when it came to the concrete awareness or knowledge of our projects, the results were actually not so good. Even though the impact of CSR on brand is still positive. So before I go to the interpretation, I just wanted also to show you the brand index, which is also a part of the CSR and reputation study. And as far as brand is concerned, we're doing actually quite good, much better than the competitors. So when it comes to the interpretation of this research, why we have such results, I don't want to say bad results, but such results. What I see is that it's the limited communication, not paid PR, and also the global strategy limit. So everything that, or these are the things that we are told to do because of the global strategy decided in Korea. But as we see also positive effects of such decisions, they also have some negative decision when it comes to local specifics or local situation. So I believe these are our challenges for tomorrow also, because this is something that I personally also have to look at how to solve this, that I have these global limitations. But at the same time, I see that we need to communicate more. We need to use transparent communication about our programs with limited budgets, of course. So how to I mean really take these lessons learned and interpret it in reality. there was also a part of the study that was talking about the changes caused by COVID-19. And I mean, the recommendations were that we should, of course, reflect the current needs to respond locally to these current issues, as for example, COVID-19. But at the same time, we should really follow our long-term strategy. And that's what we did, actually. And as one of the important topics of this pandemics is digital education. So that's actually also what we are doing. So we see that we're on the right track in this field, at least. That we're supporting digital education, we're supporting technology that helps. We help seniors, we help students. So this is an area that we're on a good track. And because I see that our time is coming to its end, I will not go into the bonus. I will leave it to the general CSR trends. I will leave it only in the presentation if you're interested. And at the very end of my talk, I would like to ask the question again. So does it really matter what we do? And also ask the question that is the title of this conference: is corporate responsibility key to sustainability? So my answer is in 3 ways. So the first one, when looking at this question from a company point of view, I believe, yes, it really matters. CSR really matters. Not only it's like a must now for the companies to do CSR, we also see that the young generation, the Generation Z, is really requiring companies to do some good for the society. And we also see that doing CSR has a positive impact on the brand. So definitely from the company point of view, even a global company point of view, it really makes a difference. And CSR is a key to sustainability of every business. When I look at it from a local perspective, looking at it from the local society, for example, we see that people don't know about what we do. The awareness of our CSR program is very low among the Czech and Slovak society. So does it really matter? And I would say yes. Because even though we chose the individual approach, we're not engaging masses of young people in our programs, but I still feel it matters. Even though we have 30 students, we will have 40, I mean, this year together. Even if we could change their lives, then it is worth it. And I believe we should continue in such programs, even though the public does not really know what we do. And when I answer the questions from like a personal point of view, again, I would say yes, it really matters. CSR is really important, because if I can personally contribute to well-being of society, if I can at least change one life, then for me it's really worth doing. So that's it. So that's from my side for today. I will now I guess stop sharing my screen.
Thanks very much, Susanna.
If there are questions, I'm here to answer, or I will answer them later and provide answers via this platform.
Thanks very much, Susanna, for that. It's really insightful, especially the surveys and the research you kind of showed and people's opinions on how they kind of see Samsung and your way forward with everything. It looks like we've got a couple of questions coming through. I would encourage everyone watching right now to write in your questions in the Q&A tab. If we run out of time, then they'll still be associated with this session to hopefully answer at a later time. But we've got a question here, Susanna, which is, should corporations work together for the benefit of CSR, even though they may be competitors? So would that be a way to make it even more sustainable?
I believe so. I mean, for example, through various platforms, I mean, we see that even competitors could work together when they join common platforms. For example, on the European level, the European Union is actually quite active in providing this platform. For example, even the Digital Skills Pledge or the CSR Europe. So these are various platforms that different companies can join and work together. So even, I mean, on a local level, we try to search for, I would not say like partnerships, but I mean platforms that we can at least share what we do and engage students to join our or even competitors' projects. So I believe this is a way forward as well. Even though I mean there are always some limitations and restrictions when it comes to the individual, I mean, company. For example, I see it that, as I said, we don't join someone else's programs and don't contribute financially. We rather run our own programs that have our name, and our investment is focusing on these programs. But on the other hand, I mean, we always are eager to join platforms where we can talk and exchange, for example, ideas. And we also try to work across subsidiary. For example, we have projects when we connect students from Poland, from Italy, from Czech Republics to share their experiences, and that's also a way forward, I believe, also in CSR, to do something better and educate the societies and the students in various countries to become successful professionals.
So I suppose linking to that with the local projects that you run, which you help up to 12 people to develop. I think the project is amazing. As you stated, one of the people who's day-to-day running for it was one of our speakers at a previous event we held to explain it further. And I think it's really great to open up horizons and opportunities for the youth, especially the youth which are coming from backgrounds which may not really have that kind of insight in that kind of world. Especially in this kind of area of Czech Republic, for people who are coming from villages and towns further out afield from Prague. So not aware of that kind of city life and all the opportunity. So to open those horizons is really great. However, I suppose the one kind of negative is it's 12 people. So where you're saying it's your own program and you do look for platforms, is there a way that you can kind of expand that a bit further, that other organizations can kind of assist you with that platform, that you can look to expand it to more people? Because it's such a great project. Is there a way that you think there's a future that could happen?
We'll see, because now it's only for such a small amount of students, because also some financial reasons. As I said, my budget has decreased significantly, 90% cut from 2013. So I'm trying to do my best to really be able to run this program. And now, I mean, 10 students is the maximum that we can have. So we can also ensure a really individual approach and really help the students a lot. However, for the future, there might be some opportunities to open up the programs to more students through partnerships with some other organizations, most probably from the NGO field. And actually, now when I think about that, it happened even before. For example, with the project Bez zbytku, that was the one about the community fridges and the food wasting. That we launched the program. We have been actively supporting and running it for 2 years, and then we handed it over to the NGO that we were working with. And now it's their project. So now they're engaged in more and more centers to join the program. So we have the experience that it happened before. So maybe the way forward, even for the Your Chance, Tvoje šance program, for future could be this way.
Well, that's great. It sounds like you kind of lighting the fire for something to start, which is great. I mean, suppose going back to that question which Josh asked about corporations working together, do you think there's a way that you could kind of separate your programs out that other corporations could then donate to your programs to kind of expand them out? Would that be a way forward, do you think? Is that a possibility?
Currently, no. No, we're not. Our programs are not. We don't do any co-financing, so they are not open to donations from outside. We only cooperate with an NGO partner that's running our programs, and of course, I mean, even their work is a donation because they're doing lots of things for free just to keep the project running. So I don't really have a concrete answer for you yet, because now this year is quite fixed already. But I would definitely want to keep this program running even later. So I will be searching for ways how to make it work, even though it will not be that much supported from the headquarters from Korea. But we'll see. You never know, and especially for us in Samsung, the situation can change from one day to another. So we'll see what the future will bring.
Well, thank you very much for actually wanting to have that kind of determination, and it helps the economies around here with the youth, with the opportunities. So it's a great benefit there on its own. Linking back to the statistics you showed about people's opinions on where Samsung CSR projects should really lie, their kind of motives and their intentions, should we say, is that obviously being electronics companies, you're using a lot of materials such as metals, such as plastics, things like that. So do you have targets separate to your CSR projects you mentioned? Do you have targets separate, which is how to change that to be using only renewable kind of materials?
Yes, but that's, I mean, this environmental or recycling strategy, let's call it, is done locally by our service department. So, I mean, they are, of course, I mean, trying to you know, it's in our country, because we're not producing directly the products here. So it's not really the topic of the heavy materials that we use about the production. For the local environment, it's more about recycling and taking back the electronic devices and make them, I mean, being separated in the best way possible. So these are the projects that the service department is cooperating with the collecting systems. So that's their responsibility. So, but I'm not involved in that because I'm responsible for the education projects, and they're responsible for the recycling projects. Of course, we know about each other, but it's their agenda. I know there are also other projects focusing on the recycling of the packaging, and I just seen recently, just a few days ago, we launched a campaign that from the TV boxes, because you know the TVs usually come in big paper boxes, so the materials are now fully recyclable. They could be recycled. And also there is a project that you can download manuals how to make different products from these boxes. For example, for your dog or for your cat, you can make a little house, or you can make a house of that box for your children to play. So that's like another, actually a funny way how to reuse the boxes and don't throw them away. And I also know that there are some projects running on, but this is like on a global level, that the amount of the plastics that's inside the boxes is being minimized. So when you open up the product, there are not so many various fill-in parts that are used. So these are also the trends, but I only know I support those projects, but I mean I'm not personally involved in such projects.
Well,
But that's also the way.
that
Yeah,
idea
sorry.
about the using the recycling the boxes by changing it into little houses for pets and things, I think is great. I think it's great, to be honest, because it's a case of, obviously it's a quirky idea, but it's a case of you're focused on recycling and making a conscious effort, but then you're actually trying to embed that thought into the public as well. So it's like two birds, one stone, which is the way you can really deal with any systemic issues, is by trying to embed it into everyone's kind of mind. So I actually think that's kind of an ingenious thing. It's really cool, kind of quirky way to deal with it. So you're obviously doing a lot of things which are moving in the right direction. It's about kind of bringing everything that together. But I suppose it's like a relatively new phenomenon is having CSR projects in big corporations. It's not something which has necessarily been around for 100 years and they've been developing. So it's all at the starting phase with a lot of these, and hopefully they will expand more so, and hopefully that'll give you more funding as well to be able to play with, to be able to affect so many more lives. That's the kind of ending hope. I suppose the last point to really finish on is to do with the issue of you're not really shouting about your CSR. So I know that we've had a conversation with it, and it's a case of you have the kind of same mentality as myself, in the sense that you shouldn't be using CSR as a direct advertisement saying, look, we do this and now buy all of our products. It should be a kind of separate entity. But at the same respect as that, it kind of stops you from sharing your ideas, which might inspire other people to do similar things. So do you think there's a balance to that? There's a way forwards that you can move? Because obviously you don't want to look at it like you're forcing people to try and convince people to buy your products on the backing of what we do, of which is good for the communities. You want to kind of inspire more positive change. So do you have any ideas of how you can kind of bridge that gap?
This has been a challenge that I've been dealing with for the last 3 to 4 years, let's say, until from time we really launched the Tvoje project. But it's only connected only with this project, but it's like a more general question that how to really communicate our efforts and our achievements in a such a way that we will not be bragging about it, but at the same time, people will kind of know it. So, we're trying to find various platforms that are not so costly and talk about the projects. Even, for example, I also appreciate this opportunity to talk about our strategy, because I still feel that not that many people know about it. But I still, again, I don't really have the correct answer. Yes, I'm working on that. Every day. We'll be, for example, now using our community members, Samsung members community platform to promote our project a little bit, to publish articles about the various aspects of CSR that we do. So we're trying to use this channel. We're also trying to use the social networks, but there are always some limitations. One is the money that is not available, and if I only have a specific budget, then and I have to choose whether I will just invest it in PR or in educational activities. For me, educational activities are those that matter more. But as you can see, even from the research, then it shows that then people tend to think we don't do anything, but we do. So it's like a vicious, circle, and maybe if you have the answer, or if someone from our listeners has the answer how to come out of this circle and how to communicate more, how to engage more people, then I will more than welcome the tips. And what we also what I see as a very important, and I see it works, but of course on a small scale, is that for example, last year we had 9 students, and they were also talking about their achievements to their friends. So they kind of motivated their friends, their colleagues, their classmates. And now we receive applications from, I mean, their friends. So for us, this is also like a positive way, like the word of mouth, that when they are satisfied, even though it's a small group, I mean, they can motivate their friends, and their friends will motivate their friends. And now, I mean, we will have a generation that's educated, motivated, and willing to work on their personal development. So, but still, it's a small scale, I know, but at least that's a start. And if we don't have big dreams, big ideas, then I mean nothing will get changed. So let's start with the small community, and hopefully one day we will get there. That we will have like a very generation that will be, I mean, satisfied, successful, happy with what they do, and at the same time helping the society, helping the people or the things that need our help.
Well, I don't have all the answers or the solutions for it. However, there is a comment here which is actually from the development manager of our associated magazine, which will be able to provide you help. So we're more than happy to be able to promote all your opportunities, all the projects you run, writing articles and publish it on our associated magazine as well for our global youth. So hopefully that would help spread the word a bit more of what you do and influence in the right ways. And through that and through other partnerships which we have, we can then spread it further and then further and further. So hopefully a work like that and that kind of community spirit just expands to the rest of the world. I suppose that's the aim. Well, thank you very much for your time, Susanna. Like I say, it's been extremely insightful, and it's really good to kind of see the kind of back end, should we say, of big corporations and what really goes on and the work they do. So thank you again for being part of this.
Thank you for inviting me, and I hope you learned something about what we do and how we do. And of course, if you have any questions, just feel free to contact me either through this platform or LinkedIn or whatever channels are available. So thank you very much. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you.